to introduce to the global issues of climate change, where population is playing a bigger role. Also increased demand of use of agriculture products as a whole, and especially for the coffee products and coffee itself. So first of all, the global issues like climate change, there is an increased demand, not only for the coffee and coffee products, but for the agriculture industry as well, as I mentioned. And then also there is a changing pattern of diets. People are becoming more sophisticated. They want coffee every morning on their table. It is good, as already mentioned before, that yes, it brings us economy and it also brings us business who are in coffee. However, we need to be very careful about it, because the coffee production or the agriculture production itself will be struggling to keep up the coffee yields due to this climate change. And many parts of the world, ocean health declines and natural resources declines with the soil, water, and biodiversity. They are stretched dangerously thin, and this all will impact our agriculture sector. So next, please. In 2020, next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. In 2020 report of, can you go the slide before, please? Thank you. Yeah. 690 million people, so that is 8.9% of global population has grown. However, 60 million people in this nearly 5 years we have seen that they remain hungry. So the food security challenge is so high that we all need to think about it. And we need to produce 70% more food by 2050 to feed the estimated 9 billion population of the world. So challenge is intensified again due to the extreme vulnerability of agriculture. Climate change has brought negative impacts on already and we already feel them. For example, increasing temperature, weather variability, shifting agroeconomic boundaries, and invasive crops and pests, and many frequent extreme weathers are felt. They are felt on farms, they are felt on crop yields, they are the nutrition yields of the major cereals, and lowering livestock productivity. So the climate change is impacting our agriculture and the food availability. Next, please. And the problem also works in reverse. That is, agriculture is the major part of the climate problem because it generates 19 to 29% of the greenhouse gas emission. And without action, what particular percentage could rise substantially as other sectors reduce? That is, 1/3 of the food produced globally is either lost or wasted. So we have to be very careful how we manage our food production as well as consumption, including storage and all other processes which come in between. Next, please. So let me tell you about coffee now. So rising temperature will reduce the areas suitable for growing coffee, and by 50% in 2050. Meanwhile, some areas might be ideal also for growing coffee. So there would be change in locations where we grow coffee, as well as there will be change in the pattern of how we grow coffee. And for example, there is an example I have given here, Nicaragua, which is an example where it is seen that it would be very good for coffee production. And so coffee cultivation will rise from 1,200 meters above sea level to 1,600 meters by mid-century. So there would be difference in location and how we grow. And so the patterns of our agriculture along with this coffee will be different. So next, please. So looking at the Indonesian coffee, of course, Indonesia's climate is just now very much suited for growing coffee, and it is one of the leading agriculture crop exports of the country. The majority of Indonesian coffee crop planted area were found in the islands of Sumatra. Other coffee growing areas are like Java. I don't have to tell all this to the people here. I know you know it, but it is just that we know that few islands have been very productive for the coffee production. Almost all of the coffee beans were, but the thing is that we also know that the coffee beans were grown by small scale estate scattered around the coffee producing regions. And that is very important to understand, because that leads to logistic challenges in harvesting and collecting the beans for export. And also you might be knowing some very good variety, which is like Arabica, Robusta, and Kopi Locos, Luwaks, which have been coffee beans and Arabic beans making up less than 1/5 of the total production of world. So the point I want to make that, of course, Indonesia has a rich history of producing coffee and being an exporter of coffee, and which we want to continue with, which we want to give the legacy to our future generation. Also, I know if I'm not right, you can correct me, but I know that the most expensive coffee called Kopi Luwak also is produced in Indonesia. So next, please. However, the production of Kopi Luwak is not without any controversy. It has the concerns of the welfare of the Asian crewettes involved. However, so we need to go to the basics of this welfare. Also, it is an expensive coffee due to its uncommon method of producing the coffee. I know a little bit about it. It is digested by civet cats, and then facets of this cat are collected, processed, and sold. And it is highly priced because it is claimed to be nutritious and high cost involved in sourcing animal and so on. However, we need to have quality certification and processing around it. And this all brings expenses to the processes. And also during that, we need to look at the people's welfare, whether it is appropriate for them to go in wild and find this and work with it with the proper health and safety measures. So next, please. So now I come to the approach of sustainable development. So what I mean by that? Sustainable development concept that has been proposed to offer alternative development pathways, okay? Which means that traditional development pathways have failed in providing us sustainable development, and therefore we need some transformation. And this is the prominent driver of reducing energy use, carbon emissions, and impacts on climate change. In the event, the concept has been highly reorganized and debated, like since 1972, since the sustainable development concept has been, highly coined. It has been debated, and it has been looked through various lenses and perceptions, and many academics, practitioners, and policymakers all have joined this concept to debate and understand and how we can make our traditional pathways more sustainable. So traditional societally approaches are successful in systems that are relative, like these type of approaches, the traditional approaches were successful in the system which were relatively closed and a highly trusted technology solutions. But we have seen that our technologies also have not been so efficient to provide a sustainable development in the sense of more low carbon production. And therefore, these approaches need to be changed. But we can only change if we approach them with wider values, wider cultural and wider institutional perceptions, and we include those perceptions in our decision making. And then only we can change the way we approach this whole process. And the thing is that these all challenges which we are having today are multiple and deep-rooted, and they are uncertain, they are dynamic, they are overlapped with one another. And therefore, we need to have a proper governance structure to address these challenges and move forward towards our sustainable pathways. Next, please. And therefore, again, as I said, I think what in traditionally way we used to apply our production or consumption objectives from looking only from the economic point of view, that how much profit we get from any business. That was our initial idea. Later on, we also understood that we need to be very social, offering people to get more comfortable lifestyle. So we had social framing within our economic framing. However, it wasn't enough. And since 1972, we have got our knowledge or understanding for environmental disturbance. We have also tried to include environmental framing in our decision making. Again, the political framing has a high impact on our decision making. And so what I mean to say that if we try to move from traditional framing or traditional decision making, we need to include all these different framing or lens in our decisions so that we can understand whether our process or our business or our end product is impacting on social, economic, political, institutional, cultural, and environmental objectives. Are these, and that's why I think we should be having this multidimensional sustainability perspective. Next, please. So here I would like to bring some theoretical concept of multidimensional perspective from Gills. And here she says that we have 3 layers. And what it says that at the low level, we have innovations, just as what we are doing at moment as a part of a pilot project or a farming at one place, then that is an innovation experiment. Now, how we can bring this innovation experiment as a mainstream, like how we can take it as a mainstream, that is very important. But it also is pressured by the global or the macro level, which is on the top, macro level policies, that what are the policies? And I can say that it is a correct time because globally we are understanding that yes, we need to move from the traditional pathways to sustainable pathways. The global policies also are saying that yes, we need to do some sustainable farming, and therefore we need to bring all the global ideas back to that our marketplace that is at the middle level. And so if our innovation are aligned with those global ideas, then only it can go, it can flourish at the middle level, which is mainstream. So next, please. And this figure actually shows that at the lower level, we have several innovations going on, which is one of the innovation which is today we are talking about is one of our innovation. But if we have multiple innovations like this, then we can form a market of mainstream. So that is at a larger scale. We can take it at a larger scale, and it will be aligned with the global sustainable practices. And so we will be more suited for the market or a mainstreaming. Next, please. I also believe in complex adaptive system, and especially the complex adaptive system says here that there are three parts of a system. One is system agents, which are we, as well as there is a human and non-human elements in systems. For example, system agents, they work as a system agents. So for example, let us take the example of this itself today, what we are sharing here all together. So Lina is one agent, you farmers are one agent, and for example, the producers or the landlords are one agent. So we all work as an agent, but we also have some sort of targets or policies, and they are non-human agents, which allow us or which interact with us and which allow us to do some actions, and they are in the schema, and these actions are performed by us due to those policies. So human and non-human elements interact, and they have governing rules, that is like policy targets or whatever, and then they perform, and the system outcome. So now whatever is produced as a part of a result of this practical project is called system outcome. And these outcomes have an impact. And that is what I say, that this impact should be social, economy, environmental, which I explained in earlier slide. So this is just a theoretical concept which I wanted to share with you. Next, please. So this is a very maybe complex figure if you think, but however, what I have done here, I have integrated this social technical system, which I explained you 2 slides before, and the complex adaptive system, which I explained you 1 slide before, and I have brought, yeah?
I'm sorry, but you still have like 3 more minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I will complete quickly, yeah? So I just want to have some theoretical background that why we are doing these practical examples. These practical examples are rooted in theoretical research, and they would help us to move forward. Anyway, I will go to my actually the last slide, like slide 15, and I want to say on, yeah, we will skip this one and the next one. Yeah, exactly. No, the last one, please. Yeah, and then so when Lina mentioned to me that she was speaking to the coffee farmers, and she and I both were very thrilled to understand the readiness of the farmers and the team. And the earliest possible time, she said it would be start making the videos in March. But I think that is not the point here. Your point is that you have made a very good start, and I like it and I appreciate it. And I'm very much excited because there is an involvement of the community and education through scientific facts about harvesting and twinning seed and seeding, nursery management skill, and so on. So I'm particularly excited about the emphasis on the women empowerment, because women are central in changing the way we approach our sustainable futures. And empirical evidence have also shown that women can influence their family, neighborhood, and community, as well as there is a case showing that the economy will benefit if we realize the women's power in their contribution to economy. And so it is very important to have the societal buy-in for this woman environment. And the objective of this Agricamp is to boost the Indonesian farmer on how to create a sustainable environment for their coffee orchard and improve their coffee quality. And that is what I like it. And it is also a smallholder coffee community and vision and mission to grow big within the sustainable smart agriculture approach. I'm wishing for all of you a very, very good luck, and not only good luck, but good success for this project. And I am fully supportive of this project, and we are looking forward to have many more videos and photos of this project so that we can raise the awareness in the world that this is happening, and this is happening at a low community level. I will be also in touch with Lena to see how we can improve the funding or the support system for this project. Thank you very much for having me, Lena. I am very much excited, and I have put all my social links here on this slide. So whenever you share the slides with people in a PDF form, please do that. And all of you are welcome to engage with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Natas. Such a very good presentation, and I'm sure we all here have recorded some important messages.
Sorry, Lena, I can't hear you.